nobody ever make it out alive.
Promise y'all. Let's get to this reaction though. MJV, the one and only, the true one. He the truth, man. Let's get it. This is for, let me read the title for y'all. Up here. 4 true disturbing horror stories, animated. Now this does sound generic, but it was a black dude in a thumbnail, so I was like, let's see if this black dude got some horror smarts, cause you know what I'm saying. Let's get it.
I was almost killed by my ex-boyfriend. I'll be changing the names to protect myself.
Okay.
Now I'll start with a quick backstory. At the time of the attack, I was 19, almost 20. My ex, Gavin, was 27, and we had a big chow-chow and a cat.
You look like Horon
The
from
dog was
Tekken.
his and the cat was mine. We lived in a 3-bedroom house. A few months before, we had allowed a friend to stay with us, Lacey, and it didn't end well, as she was just sort of taking advantage of us. The week leading up to the attack, Gavin had just gotten back from his work trip, which I believe was about 3 to 4 weeks away from home.
Okay.
And the week that he was back, he was completely out of it, unable to complete a thought. I'd ask or tell him something, and less than 5 minutes later, he'd completely forget or just not have heard me, just off in some other world almost.
Okay.
Then one day, I was very frustrated with all of this, and I'd ask for help with chores or for him to take the garbage out, only to be ignored.
Disrespectful.
One day, he said that if it continued, he wanted me to slap him. Now, we had gone out for dinner with his mom 2 days prior to this attack.
Red flag, red flag, red flag. You never initiate any type of physical abuse in a relationship, no matter the circumstances. None of that. Don't ever do that. You know what I'm saying? You might be taking it too far playfully. You know what I'm saying? Just letting somebody slap you playfully. You know what I'm saying? Because it could turn serious. And since they already in that pattern, hey, it might be up if they get mad at you. You know what I'm saying? So 0 tolerance, y'all. 0 tolerance. I'm trying to tell y'all.
And she was obviously very worried about him, as there was clearly something wrong. And at the time, the only mental disorder that he had or was aware of was OCD, though I am now even more convinced that it's not what he had by any means. And the day of the attack, we had just gotten back from grabbing some takeout and were sitting on the couch in the living room. I had been painting my nails while he was playing Mario Kart, and he looked over at me and said,
"That is not the device to play Mario Kart on, bro. Hold on, let me turn down this light. There we go. Maybe you can see the blue a little bit better since I turned down the light. You really can't, but okay. We'll figure it out. Chat. You know what I'm saying? So we can get the ambiance right. So when y'all want to change my lights, cash in y'all money on and change my lights, then you can really tell the difference. You're gonna be able to tell with the strip light 100%, but maybe with this one. Let me see. Let me change it to red real quick. Okay, yeah, you can tell. Maybe it's because I turned it down, but you can tell with the red, most definitely. Go to green. Yeah, okay. It was just the blue. Maybe because the background was blue, so you couldn't really tell what was really going on. Let me get back to the animation though. My fault, y'all. My fault. Let's go.
Lacey put a curse on my family.
What happened?
When you get car insurance, you get a price based on all these.
Did I miss something? She put a curse on who? That's another red flag. You dating a witch? Get her up out of there.
He looked up in the living room.
Let me restart that. My fault.
I'd been painting my nails while he was playing Mario Kart.
Don't play Mario Kart on that.
He looked over at me and said, "Lacey put a curse on my family."
Oh, Lacey's the one that was staying with them. That was a bum, wasn't it? She was taking advantage. She was bumming. Yeah. That's Lacey. Okay, come on, let's go.
I was dealing with my own really poor mental health at the time, so I wasn't really in a space where I could be focusing on his. I have BPD, and I wasn't sure what to do.
What is
so I
BPD?
suggested that he hop in a cold shower, as it had helped him earlier in the week to reset a bit. He walked into the bathroom, muttering to himself, and it just felt so off. Now, I don't know how to describe it. I just didn't feel...
You suck. You suck as a girlfriend. You really do. What do you mean I'm dealing with my own stuff, so I don't got time to deal with yours? Ain't that what companionship is for? Why are you in a relationship if you ain't got time to, be there for your partner in every single instance and way? She is not wifey material. Those types that be like, oh, I'm independent. I got my own stuff going on. Uh, 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 uh. Let me stop ranting. Come on.
feel safe, and I walked over and asked if I could call his mom for a bit, maybe invite her over for supper, kind of beating around the bush that I wanted her to come help him. He looked at me and just started yelling that all he needed was me. I walked out and started toward the living room as I was calling his mom. He came out of the bathroom naked and started yelling at Ollie, the dog, to discipline me and attack me.
What is going on? This came out of nowhere. No warnings or anything. He's sicking his dog on her, butt naked, coming out the shower? Huh? I don't know, bro. It just came out of nowhere. In my opinion, like no warnings or nothing. One second he's saying that he needs her, the next second he trying to get her up out of here with the dog. He trying to drop her off.
Mind you, he was trained as my guard dog.
Goofy.
And at this point, I believe his mom had answered the phone and heard what was happening. He started calling me Lacey and saying that I needed to pay for what I did.
Ooh.
I immediately ran into the bedroom with my phone, and his mom was still on the line. He kicked down the door, smashed my head into our mirrored closet doors, and threw my phone to the ground. He was screaming that he was going to kill me. I scrambled out of the bedroom, trying to get to the front door, and as I was passing the kitchen, he got a hold of me and wrapped his arms around my throat, again saying that he was going to kill me.
Bro.
I remember looking over to the table and seeing my cat, Sterling, all puffed up, and I had never seen him so scared. I was fighting to not go unconscious, and I couldn't breathe. I clawed at him, just trying to get his arms off my throat.
Whoa.
I remember starting to see black specks in my vision and thinking, am I going to die? What is he going to do with my body? Then he started asking me if I knew what it was like to have unspeakable things done to me.
What
And this
is
is the part
going
where I'm
on?
not sure if he was actually out of his mind. I have been assaulted inappropriately before, and it had been a year that month, I guess, and I was very open about how that had been affecting me and open about telling him. He threw me to the ground and
Horong
put
is
his foot over my head
tweaking.
as if to stomp on it. And this was the only time that I had seen his eyes throughout this attack, and they were almost lifeless. His pupils were so dilated you could barely see the iris, and he was yelling over and over again, "Admit it, Lacey. You know what you did. Admit it." I just started apologizing, doing and saying anything I could to make him happy. And this seemed to work as I got the opportunity to scramble to my feet and race out the door, and I just wished that I'd left the screen door open. I ran from house to house in nothing but shorts and a sweater in February in one of the coldest provinces in Canada. I got into maybe 2 to 3 houses before I heard Ollie screaming, and it's a sound I can never get out of my head. I just dropped to the ground, screaming and crying. Gavin, leave him alone.
It's time to knock on some doors, bro. It's time to bring that drama to your neighbors. I ain't gonna lie. Ain't no way. Are you serious? Bro, like that came out of nowhere. I don't even got, I can't, I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. That literally came out of nowhere. That's wild. Let's continue though. Let's continue.
I knew in that moment that he killed my dog. At this point, a bunch of the neighbors had heard me and came running to help.
He killed the
An older
dog.
couple called the police and brought me.
Yeah, that Lacey did a number on him, bro. Yeah, she was a witch. She was a witch. He wasn't playing about that curse. She was a witch, and if you ain't covered the blood of Jesus like you supposed to be, then hey, you might end up like Horon, bro. You might end up like him, bro. If you not, you know what I'm saying, covered in the blood, man. I ain't scared of no witch, man. You can try something on me all you want. It's gonna get deflected right back to you. You know what I'm saying? I got that type of power through Jesus' name. What you talking about? I ain't scared of nothing. I ain't scared of no demon killer over here. Stop it. Demon killer. Witch dodger. Stop it, bro. Witchcraft dodger. Curse dodger. Stop it, bro. Ain't none of that working on me. That's wild, bro. That is wild. Where did she come from? It was just like a what? A friend or something? Whose friend was it? That's wild. That's wild. All right, let's continue. Let's continue.
to their home, not knowing if they were putting their own lives at risk. My parents were living in a completely different province. Someone gave me their phone to call my mom, and she was out for supper with some friends, and I just told her Gavin killed the dog and tried to kill me. The police finally showed up after what seemed like hours, 5 or 6 cars, firearms out and ready. They used a megaphone to tell him to come out with his hands up, and he walked out naked, covered in blood. Once they had gotten him into the car, a police officer came to talk to me while the others searched the house. And shortly after, an officer came up and asked how many dogs we had, and I told him 1 and a cat. I asked if Ollie was still alive, and they told me that he was dead in the bathtub. Gavin had killed him in the living room and then brought him into the bathroom, filled up the tub, and put Ollie's body in it. I asked about the cat, and they said they couldn't find him yet, and I was sure that he had killed my sweet boy too.
Ain't no way.
Sterling was the only thing I could think about, and I went into a panic and was no longer able to give them any more information. I was in tunnel vision repeating, "Where's my cat? I want my cat. Find my cat." The officers asked if there were any treats that they could use to coax him out and where his hiding spots usually were, and they ended up finding Sterling alive, but he was so scared and attacking the officers. They had blocked off the worst of the scene, so they had me go in to get him. There was still so much blood, and the smell of blood and feces was overpowering.
Yeah,
Sterling was in the bedroom on the bed, just crying.
Traumatized.
I scooped him up and asked the officers to find my vape.
You said the
And
cat
as I
was
walking out
crying.
of the house,
And what's up with
Gavin's
your
mom registered
toes?
to find my vape.
I ain't trying to crack jokes, but like, dang man, your toes busted. Yuck. Anyways, the cat was crying. Man, he was going through it, wasn't he? I ain't never heard an animal cry before. I mean, like moan maybe. I ain't know cats can moan though. I never had a cat. Don't look at me crazy. I never had a cat. Just had dogs all my life. Anyways, let's
And as I was
continue.
walking out of the house, Gavin's mom had just gotten out of her car. She asked me where Ollie was, and all I could say was, "Gavin killed him."
Nah,
And she
bro.
just dropped to the ground and started bawling. 2 weeks later, Sterling and I were on a plane to my mom's. The court case took over 2 years, and I later found out Gavin had loaded our guns. And I never wanted to know how he killed Ollie, but when going through the evidence, an officer mentioned a baseball bat, not knowing
Oh,
that I
he's
didn't want to know.
sick, bro.
He only got 10 months of house arrest for all of this. And to this day, 2 years later, he still tries to contact me, blaming me for not getting him help earlier.
I'm sorry, what? You don't have a restraining order on this man? And only 10 months of house arrest? For attempted murder? And then murdering animals, animal cruelty? 10 months? He must have had connections, bro. If you know, you know. He must have had connections. Nah, that's wild. That is wild. Let's keep going.
I think the worst part is that I do partly blame myself.
See, that's that manipulation, gaslighting going on. What happened to the one girl he kept saying her name over and over again, saying that she was her? What was her name? I forgot her name, but what happened to her? Like she moved out or left and never came back all of a sudden after she casted that curse on him. But bro, like that curse on wrapped his whole life around, warped his whole life. That's crazy to me. But like she gonna like make sure that he was blocked on her phone or set a restraining order if he invades or whatever the restraining order, then he got to go back to jail, like actual jail. She couldn't do any of that. It's just, oh well, he in house arrest. Give him his phone back. It's okay that if he harasses the woman he just tried to murder. I don't know if I can even say that word on Twitch or on YouTube. I hope I don't get banned or whatever, bro, because I already got a copyright strike for reacting to something I wasn't supposed to. They took down my Walmart video, y'all. That's wild. Anyways, let's get this second reaction going. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I'll hop into some school days and then we gonna hop into Spectra. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's regularly scheduled programming. We only gonna react to 2, then we gonna react to the other 2 tomorrow. Let's go.
This happened to me in Tempe, Arizona, not far from Mill Avenue where all the bars are at. I was out bar hopping with a group of friends one weekend, having a good time, and had gotten pretty wasted. I have this terrible habit of wandering off and getting lost when I drink, and this particular night I had managed to get myself in a very dumb situation. After wandering down streets for almost an hour, I started to realize that I was very lost, and to make things worse,
Who
my
that,
phone
Dolph
was out of
Ziggler?
battery. At some point, I decided that I would just walk back to my friend's house, which I knew was somewhere north of an area that we were bar hopping. Now, I should mention that I am severely incompetent when it comes to directions and navigating in a city.
He had a whole map with him of the city? What is Resident Evil? How you get a map of the city?
So I didn't realize that I was a solid 7 to 8 miles away from my friend's place.
Ooh, that's a workout.
As I was stumbling confidently along the empty roads at 2 a.m., a sedan suddenly pulls off the road in front of me, aggressively, almost blocking my path. Somewhat startled, I look towards the driver's side and see a rather large and mean-looking black gentleman staring me down. In situations like this, most people have one of 2 reactions. They either become scared and defensive or angry and aggressive. I, on the other hand, am an insane person and was just drunk enough to have no sense of the danger that I might be in. Now, I should mention that I am your typical privileged suburban white boy, not particularly threatening or big. And I proceeded to wave at the guy saying, "Hey man, what's good?" I'm not completely sure, but I think I was probably smiling too. I specifically remember the face that he made. It was sort of confused and conflicted, as if I were asking him what year it was. He paused for a second and asked me something, but I couldn't understand what he said. And I responded back, "Huh?" And he then asked me, "Where are you going?" I told him I was trying to walk to my friend's place, but I have no idea where I am. After another pause, he told me to get in. Now, without thinking, I walk over to the passenger side and hopped in. Pretty dumb, right?
Yeah.
Well, at the time, it seemed like a good idea. And once I got in, I was able to get a better look at the guy. He was covered in tattoos and was wearing your typical thug attire.
What? The typical thug attire? What is the typical thug attire? Hold on, because I was about to pause it anyways and talk about what you should do in that situation. Someone pulls up in front of you. But what is the typical thug attire? Maybe he's gonna describe it. Let's hear what the typical thug attire is. Let's hear him out. Let me hear.
I also noticed his arm was all bandaged. Oh, and he had a pistol clearly tucked into his shorts. And again, for some reason, none of this fazed me at the time. He asked me where my friend's place was, and I gave him directions. Now, I'm pretty sociable and talkative when I drink, so I immediately started chatting with the guy casually. I don't remember exactly what we talked about, but eventually he started telling me that he had just gotten out of the hospital after being treated for a gunshot wound on his arm, and his girl just broke up with him because of it.
Okay. So he didn't describe what the typical thug attire is. I wonder what it is, because I don't think anybody has a typical attire nowadays, especially like the younger generation. Everybody dresses nearly the same. You're not gonna see usually you're not gonna see like a big difference between a white dude's who's Gen Z's attire and a black dude's. Both wear Jordans, maybe both skinny jeans, depending on what year it is. You know what I'm saying? Graphic shirt, a snapback. So what is thug attire, bro? Other than like, I don't see white boys like that, like in Timberlands. I don't know. Maybe they do like rock Timberlands, but other than Timberlands, everybody dresses the same. So, sounds a little racist. If you catch what I'm trying to say, racist, in my opinion. But I ain't the one to play the race card at all. So we gonna keep it pushing. We gonna act like that ain't happened. So let me put y'all on game. Somebody pull up to you. Don't act scared. I told y'all when I was reacting to the video when homegirl went to go take her dog out. You gotta act like you the threat out there, man. You do. You have to act like you the threat out there. Because if you look sweet, then they gonna press you. They most definitely gonna press you. Now that caught him off guard or whatever when he said what's up to him, but he should have kept it pushing after that. Should he have gotten in the car? Absolutely not. Let me tell you what I would have did. Would have looked at him, nah, what's up? Spoke to him. But if he was mugging me, I ain't speaking to him. If he mugging me, I ain't speaking to him. If he just pull up and he look at me, what's up, man? Keep it pushing. Don't stop. It's whatever to me. You know what I'm saying? But if he mugging, look back at him. You know what I'm saying? Look at him. Don't stare at him. Make sure, yeah, I see you. I see you looking at me and I'm looking at you too. And keep walking. You know what I'm saying? Don't act like you scared. Don't be too friendly. Don't get too aggressive. Just act like, you know what I'm saying? Like you the threat out, like you not worried, bro. Even if you don't got nothing tucked on you. Don't act like that. And if he hop out with that thing on him, it's time to run. It's time to book it. I ain't fighting nobody with a gun, bro. I'm not. That's foolishness. Straight up foolishness. Do I look like Captain America to you? No.
Apparently, she didn't like that he was in a gang and getting into gunfights. Go figure. He then told me that he was real pissed off about her and about getting shot, and he was driving around looking for someone to rob when he found me, and that he has served time for robbery in the past. At that point, my drunken brain started to connect the dots, and I thought about the roughly $200 that I had in my wallet at that very moment.
You a easy lick.
But instead of freaking out, I just said something like, "Damn, man, that's rough."
I'm talking about, dang, man, that's rough.
Institute. You can learn
That's tough,
skills
man.
needed
That's
for
tough.
fulfilling.
He also told me that he really wanted to be a rapper, and he was trying to get his music career started.
Oh my gosh.
I tried to be supportive, telling him to just go for it. About 10 to 15 minutes later, we pulled up at my friend's place. Now, this is when I should have just gotten out of the car and told the armed man thanks for the ride, but again, I'm an insane person and felt like I owed him one for taking me all the way there, so I asked if he wanted to come in and smoke some.
What? What is going on? You know what he gonna say. Yeah, let me slide, man. Let me pull up. Of course he wants to. Watch this.
And he said he was down. At this point, my friends had already been back for a while, and were all wondering what had happened to me. And as you might expect, they were awfully surprised when I showed up with a strange black guy who I now knew was a gang member who had debated robbing me at gunpoint. What the dude did next sort of sketched everyone out, though. My buddy lives in a house with a few other people. His room is at the very end of the hallway, and that's where they all were listening to music. He also has a huge safe in his closet that is visible as soon as you walk in the room.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't realize it, but my new friend had brought his gun inside with him.
Obviously,
and shortly after entering the room, after everyone said what's up, he took his gun out of his waistband and put it down right on top of the safe in front of everyone. It seemed like a really odd thing to do, but it was a lot better than what he could have done. I feel like it was a sort of show of respect, like he wanted to show that he wasn't going to use it. Luckily, I do have super chill friends, so they acted cool and were about to roll up a blunt, so a few minutes later we all went back to smoke, leaving that gun in his room. The dude chilled with us for a while longer and actually seemed to get along with some of my friends who had a similar interest in music. He then picked up his gun off the safe and left without incident. Looking back, I realized that could have gone much, much worse, especially since my buddy had a lot of cash in that safe and could have easily robbed us at gunpoint at any time.
Yeah, he could have.
And I like to think that although he was a criminal and a gang member, he was also just a guy going through a hard time, and a little kindness and marijuana prevented that night from going very, very bad.
Terrible plays he just executed. Terrible, man. I know he was drunk, but man, they could have been clapped up. They could have been robbed and clapped up. He could have ran their pockets, all that, bro. Are you serious? Hey, it is what it is, man. I ain't got much to say about it. That was wild though. That thug attire comment was wild. That was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Anyways, hope y'all boys enjoyed that. Yes, sir. Actually, that blue light looking real good right now. Got a whole bunch of light on me. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed that little reaction. Yes, sir. We about to head up out of here. Do I really feel like playing the other game is what I'm thinking. I don't know, but let me finish my intro. Hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. I'm talking to YouTube. If you watching on Twitch, don't think that it's the end of the stream, because it's not. We got Spectre to play. You know what I'm saying? But hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Make sure to sub up. Make sure to like the video and come check me out on Twitch. Yes, sir. We stream Monday through Thursday, 3 through like 7-ish. So slide on me, man. Yes, sir. With all that being said, Mugga, Muggsy, signing out. Yes, sir.